Hi everyone, an update for you from New Haven where a man was accused of holding a woman hostage earlier this morning and then barricading himself inside, leading to an hours-long standoff. He is now in custody, but there's still several police officers on scene, and I want to give you a look at what's going on here. We just watched him come out of the apartment building where he was barricaded inside just a couple of minutes ago. I'll step over here and give you a look at what's going on. We did see the woman come out around maybe 8 o'clock this morning before 9 a.m. She came out, she walked out, and then we did see all of the SWAT team members and a bunch of police officers get a little bit closer to the apartment building, and that's when police told us that the man took that suspect into custody. At this point, I'm going to zoom in a little bit to show you what's going on here. It looks like there's a stretcher there, if you can see, and a group of people gathered around that stretcher, and hostage negotiators who have been on scene for several hours. This call first came in at 3:30 this morning, so police have really been here for hours. And he was just taken into custody within the last 20 minutes or so. You can see an ambulance there in the distance, and this is happening in the area of Dixwell Avenue and Henry Street. I'm going to step over here. Sorry, I'm going to step in front of you to give you another look. This is happening at Henry Street, right off of Dixwell Avenue in New Haven. So this really went on for several hours. And again, we do see a stretcher and some people surrounding a stretcher, but it looks like here we're getting a little bit closer look of what the apartment building looked like. I'm actually going to cross the street to give you a better look. So the apartment building is that brick one. It's like a very long building, and it looks like each apartment has its own entrance. You can see those stairs there. So that's where the investigation has been focused around this morning. We saw the SWAT team here, hostage negotiators, for several hours. They were here since 3:30 this morning. And again, just within the last 20 minutes or so, that suspect came out and was taken into custody. Police did identify him as a 45-year-old New Haven man. That's all of the information that they've given on his identity, and they haven't identified the woman who he was accused of holding at gunpoint yet. But again, she did make it out okay earlier this morning, a few hours ago, and now the suspect is in custody. There was a SWAT team truck that was parked along Henry Street a little bit earlier this morning. That has since left, and we still see New Haven police here, as well as an ambulance. But the area is still blocked off at this point. Police were asking all morning that people avoid the area, but at this point it's still blocked off, and this got a lot of attention from cars driving by. If you're familiar with Dixwell Avenue, it's a pretty busy road, so cars have been pretty much nonstop driving by and taking a look at what was happening here. We do see some neighbors right now that are standing at the further end of that apartment building. It's not clear how close to the middle the suspect's apartment was. But we did hear the SWAT team and the hostage negotiators trying to talk to the suspect over a loudspeaker earlier this morning. That was a little bit unclear exactly what they were saying. And we did speak to New Haven's Captain Anthony Duff, who told us a little bit earlier this morning that hostage negotiators were in touch with him. And then about 5 minutes after he gave that update, he was taken into custody. He is walking over right now, so we'll listen into what he has to say.
Hi, Captain. We're going to move down the street in a couple minutes. The suspect is fine, medically fine. He surrendered. Right now he's drinking water, smoking a cigarette, talking to family members who also help. convince him to come out and surrender. So we're grateful to those family members in helping to safely resolve the incident. We're gonna move down in a couple minutes. It is an apartment building at 139 Henry Street. It's Henry between Dixwell and Oregon.
And Captain, you said so he walked out. Is that correct? He
walked out and surrendered.
After a stressful day, you got to feel about as fortunate as you can be that there isn't have anybody getting seriously injured, right?
Oh, absolutely. And we appreciate the assistance and cooperation of all the neighbors, folks who provided additional information. This incident began around 3:30 in the morning when New Haven patrol officers responded to a weapons complaint. Officers were told that a man who does not live there had barged in or entered the residence with a handgun. There were other people in the dwelling or the residence who were allowed to leave. The suspect held an adult female. I'm not sure if she's a girlfriend or an ex-girlfriend, but the suspect does not live there. So he held this woman at gunpoint from about 3:30 a.m. until the woman either was released or perhaps escaped around 9 a.m. And we've been here from with just the suspect from about 9 a.m. until 11:45 a.m. We've worked with a member of the clergy, a reverend or pastor who's familiar with the suspect, as well as family members, relatives of the suspect. The suspect is a 45-year-old New Haven man. After he chats with his family members, drinks his water, and is checked out by medical personnel, he will be transported to the New Haven Police Department, where the Special Victims Unit, SVU, detectives will attempt to interview him if he wishes to be interviewed. Otherwise, he will be booked and processed at the Police Detention Center. Today is Thursday, so he will not go to court today. A bail will be offered or set, and if he does not make bail, he will go to the Superior Court of New Haven tomorrow, Friday morning.
On Church Street, Captain?
Yes, the court is at 235 Church Street for the time being. For initial hearings or arraignment.
Did he seem mentally distressed to the officers when he came out?
I was standing there. He seems to be in good spirits. He's chatting with family members. I'm not familiar with him, so I don't know if that's his regular mood. But he appears to be fine, if I can say.
Captain, did he share anything about what the nature of the beef was, or had anybody else that you can share?
I have not been privy to that, so that I cannot say.
But he did know the victim. He just not sure the relationship, but he did know the victim.
Oh, he absolutely knows the victim, and they have been in they were in a dating relationship, from what I understand. I'm not sure if that still exists, but this would be considered a domestic incident or domestic violence related incident, very, very much so.
No injuries sustained by her?
I'm not aware of any injuries. I did see the victim with the Special Victims Unit detective, and I'm not aware of any injuries to the victim.
Did he used to live in the home? Because some neighbors were saying that they knew him and things like that. Did he used to live there?
That I'm not sure. He currently does not reside at this location, so he would not be considered a member of the household.
He broke it.
Yes.
And Captain, where did the 911 call come from? Inside the apartment, or?
That I will have to get an answer for you and get back to you.
Have police responded to any vandalism incidents in this area before?
There are several family members who have confided in me that there is a history of that, but I have not checked police reports to confirm that. But
with this suspect?
Here on scene, several family members of the victim have confided in me that there were previous acts of vandalism. But again, I have not confirmed that those have been reported to the police department.
Acts of vandalism allegedly perpetrated by this suspect.
That is what the family members of the victim are telling me.
Okay.
Do you have any more information on the other people that you said he let go before taking that woman?
No additional information on those folks, and the police reports, all the police reports have yet to be filed.
Any children involved now?
No children present at the time being. There are children who live at this residence, but they were away. I'm not sure if it was family members or others, but at the time of the incident, there were no children present, and no children were held or involved.
Captain Duff, off subject, seeing you walk down Henry Street past the spot where you were shot last August, do you still think about that?
Well, policing is the kind of business where you have to move on from incident to incident. When I walk that street, I certainly recall it. I cannot forget it, but I have to work with the incident at hand. I'm grateful to all those folks who supported me at the time of my injury and my near-death experience. I'm so thankful for all those supporting me. But it's back to work, and this is part of that work.
Thank you, Captain.
All right, we're going to move down. Let me just make sure, confirm that the suspect, the detectives wanted to remove him from the scene, and then we'll move everyone down to that location.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Duff.
So we just heard from Captain Anthony Duff of the New Haven Police Department giving us an update on what happened. He said there was a 911 call for a weapons incident. Someone had entered an apartment building where he didn't live, someone who he was either previously in a relationship with or currently in a relationship with. He let a few people go from that apartment before taking allegedly into custody the woman who he was allegedly holding at gunpoint earlier this morning. She was then let go sometime before 9 o'clock this morning, and then the suspect was taken into custody about a half hour ago. And he said that he is on a stretcher talking to family. He came out of the apartment building after speaking with a local member of the clergy and his family. So he said that they played a big role in getting this suspect out of the building. And that was the update he gave. No identity yet. He said he's a 45-year-old man from New Haven. So we are going to have much more on this later on this afternoon. We are on the news at 4 and 5, and we'll have updates for you online throughout the day. Have a great day, everyone.